can you just walk us through what these new charges are? Because this is about the documents case, his second indictment, not the third one we're still waiting for.
This came as a complete surprise. I mean, all eyes were focused on the grand jury in Washington, D.C. The hours were ticking away. And then in the afternoon, the court clerk came out and said, no indictments coming today from the D.C. court, from the D.C. grand jury. So then everybody was wondering, well, what is going on here? And just a few moments later, we saw the indictment unsealed about the documents case in Florida. And this was a huge surprise because there was a lot of new evidence about efforts to obstruct the investigation. So new charges against Trump and a new defendant, Carlos de Rivera, who was a maintenance worker at Mar-a-Lago. And this indictment included text messages, phone calls, interviews, video surveillance of tapes showing a whole series of events about trying to delete the surveillance video at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, Sarah, the TikTok of communications in this case is remarkable. I'm glad you brought this up. Text showing Donald Trump's body man you referred to and the maintenance worker at Mar-a-Lago setting up a secret meeting to delete the surveillance video, purportedly showing them moving boxes within Mar-a-Lago because they said the boss wanted this done, but they couldn't figure out how to delete the tape. They're making G. Gordon Liddy look good in this case, Sarah. I guess my question is, why now? What do you make of the timing of these additional charges?
Well, so typically, all the evidence will be presented to the grand jury in one moment and one indictment is returned. And you cannot go back as a prosecutor and ask the grand jurors to review the same testimony. But if they get new evidence or new witnesses, then they can go back and they file something that's called a superseding indictment, which is the result of adding new evidence to the case. When they find that there's evidence to support new charges, they can come back again.
Joe, I love that you brought up the text messages. Did you catch in the indictment that some of these text messages included emojis?
Yes.
The shh emoji. I mean, I'm not sure. You know, it's the saying, it's not the crime, it's the cover-up.
How about it?
Sarah, is that what the special counsel is trying to get to, that this was all covered up? I also read that it was attempts to delete footage. Do we actually know if they were successful in that?
Yeah, good question. We don't know if they actually were successful, but we know there were conversations where Nauda and de Riviera talking to the IT specialist at Mar-a-Lago, trying to find out how long does the surveillance video stay, on the cameras in the archive. And then at one point they say to the IT director, the boss wants this video deleted. And then the IT director says, well, I don't know if I can do that.
All this, of course, happening. And by the way, they met in the bushes, apparently, Annmarie, and went to an adjacent property to have this conversation. I mean, it's got all the elements here of a ridiculous movie. You wouldn't think it was true if you saw it.
It does, and this is just the first of this new charge we brought up. There's also the willful retention of classified information as well. So it just seems like, Joe, the legal struggles for the former president, it almost feels like they're just ballooning out of control for him. I mean, that's just the first we spoke about.
Well, that's right. And, of course, that hit yesterday, Annmarie, as we were waiting for a potential next indictment. We've still got another one likely to go here from Jack Smith, and then there's Fulton County, Georgia. And, my goodness, in any other world, we'd be talking right now about Congress flying away for August recess without quite getting the job done. And that is also the case this week. I'd love to bring in Jack Fitzpatrick on this. Happy August recess. Jack, I guess the 100-degree weather is appropriate here. Lawmakers are going home for the month, town halls, fundraisers, I'm sure Codells in many cases, they're going abroad. But what a contrast. The Senate actually got the job done. And Jack is our appropriations expert. He can go further into this. But they got all 12 bills cleared from what we understand. The NDAA passed last night. The House got one. When you consider the numbers there, Jack, this is why people are talking about, partly because of a government shutdown, because the House will have so much catching up to do. How does this all work?
Well, the House managed to get bills out of committee. I think the biggest difference here is that the Senate had bipartisan support, very, very strong bipartisan support. For the 12 government funding bills that made it out of the committee in the Senate, the highest number of votes against them out of the 29 members voting was 3. A lot of these were unanimous. The House It never got a single Democrat in committee or the one that they got on the floor to vote in favor of a government funding measure. They are now contending with the Freedom Caucus conservatives who say, actually, we should be cutting more. We should be going more conservative. So there's a big gap between the House and Senate. And it's also even the fact that they're branching apart further as senators say, well, we should do more emergency funding on top of the debt limit numbers you saw a while back for Ukraine. And House conservatives saying they're not even happy yet with the bills that don't have any Democratic support. So both sides have been productive in a way, but there's a massive, massive gap that's going to be very difficult to bridge in September by the September 30th deadline.
So who bridges that? Is that Speaker McCarthy then cutting a deal with Democrats alongside the Senate?
He needs Democratic votes. You cannot get something bicameral and bipartisan without Democratic votes in the House because you're going to lose some of the conservatives in the end game. The question is, how many Democrats can McCarthy rely on without then having a mutiny from those conservatives? And again, if the Senate continues with a very bipartisan, strong approach, how much do they force his hand? McCarthy's in a very, very uncomfortable position there.
But he's been here before.
Yeah, it is a lot like the calculus that went into the debt limit bill, understanding that when you have something bipartisan and you need to get it through the Senate and need President Biden's signature, you know that you're going to lose conservative support. He's going to need to rely on Democratic support ultimately. But really, it's the same kind of question of, do your Matt Gaetz types or your Bob Good types, your very conservative sort of anti-leadership members, decide to work with him or against him? And that's something that they might just kind of decide in the moment as we get closer to September 30th.
So, Jack, as we relitigate essentially the debt ceiling deal, is that what it's going to feel like? September, October, November? Maybe there's a continuing resolution in there that buys a little more time. But we're about to go through another similarly painful process here when it comes to funding the government.
Yeah, the only good news is that, a shutdown is not quite as bad as the threat of a default was with the debt limit measure. But yes, the September 30th deadline is going to be very, very difficult. A lot of conservatives say if we need a stopgap measure to avoid a shutdown, we're not going to agree to a months-long measure to kick it into December like they usually would. If there's not a shutdown, and the threat of a shutdown certainly is there, but if there's not one, we might see a lot of deadlines on short stopgap measures, which is not great for the functioning of the government or negotiators knowing what's coming next. So it's going to be a difficult September, and it might be a difficult time even into December.